Welcome to the circus. This is the 2018 CEI dinner. But if you don't know that, probably you're at the bar too long already. We're so happy that you guys could join us here tonight. So this circus theme thing, I was informed about it fairly late in the game. My understanding from the internal memos and minutes of the various meetings was that it was originally called Welcome to the Collective Action Problem. How we learn to stop worrying and love expressive interests. But apparently that was a little too wonky for this crowd. So it seems to be part of the problem with the circus metaphor is that circus is supposed to be, as a metaphor, sound chaotic and wild and crazy and unorganized. But in reality, circuses are, in fact, beautifully choreographed. They just give the appearance of chaos. Which is actually a kind of great metaphor for liberal democratic capitalism. It's almost as if there is an unseen ringmaster, an invisible ringmaster even, or with an invisible whip, making the system work. So I also found out the whip at the last minute. I actually am pretty good at cracking whips. You can ask my research assistant at AEI. But I've got this injury with the tendons in my arm, and I didn't get it from any untoward things, but it is sort of awkward looking, and it does make you think about history a little bit, and you just wonder, would Hillary Clinton be president today if only Anthony Weiner had to wear one of these? Let it sink in, people. So anyway, I know we have an enormous diversity of people here. We have everybody from capitalists to anarcho-capitalists. But I want to say, if you happen to be some stray progressive or liberal in the room, we are not going to ask you to leave. This isn't the Red Hen. But we are fairly passionate about our right to do so if we wanted to. So to kick off the program for tonight, CEI is giving away copies of my book, Suicide of the West, How the Rebirth of Tribalism, Populism, Nationalism, and Identity Politics is Destroying American Democracy. I know that's not like the most upbeat party favor. The alternative book was Take a Bath with a Toaster, but that wasn't available. And I kind of feel like if you guys had gotten Oprah, then like everyone would have gotten a book. You get a book, you get suicide, but no, that's not going to happen. But one lucky, I hope lucky, person at every table is going to get the copy on your table tonight. If you look under your plate, you will see, well, at least some of you will see a ticket or a coupon or something. So, congratulations to all the winners out there. If for whatever reason you don't want your book, cozy and bargaining is permitted. And also, I just want to be very clear, I get this question a lot, there is actually no scientific upward boundary of the number of copies you can still buy. I just want to be clear about that. So, it's been about 10 years since I did this for CEI, which apparently is just long enough for people to forget. And I don't remember much. I was here in 2008 for when the keynote was Václav Klaus. And I don't remember a lot of how that went, in part because I operationalized the open bar at the end of the night. But I do remember saying at one point, which got some interesting reactions, that leave it to CEI to bring in immigrants to do jobs American presidents won't do. And seemed ironic even then. So let's get to the program. Tonight's show will feature all sorts of exciting things. The first is, and I know you're really looking forward to this, I know Ajit Pai is in here and he really is looking forward to this, is the tweet contest. we are going to have a tweet contest for the best tweet of the night. That's the hashtag CEI dinner. We're also going to have the one and the only 2018 Julian Simon Award winner, Peruvian economist, renowned property rights activist, and president of the Institute for Liberty and Democracy, Dr. Hernando de Soto. Now, as will be made clear to you later, our keynote speaker tonight is Mick Mulvaney. He is the director of the White House Office of Management and Budget. It's not the Mick Mulvaney from that other agency. He was not invited. It's just this one. It gets really complicated, and if we get this wrong, we all go to jail, but that's apparently how it works. And frankly, all of this stuff about how the Trump economy is going so fantastic, and yet Mick Mulvaney has to work 2 jobs. It's kind of nuts. I also left out, and this is vitally important, the award for best tweet will be provided by one of our most cherished sponsors, the Distilled Spirits Council. I kind of feel like, when Donald Trump reads a speech from a teleprompter, every now and then he just needs to add his own gloss on it to sort of make it clear that, he's still up there and all that. It's not just a speechwriter. So I want to say this very sincerely, but the Distilled Spirits Council, they do such important work. So important. So important. And finally, we're also going to have tonight Snapchat filters. I have nothing to respond to that. So anyway, tweet to your heart's content about the CEI dinner, and then we will close the evening with the crowd favorite CEI dinner movie, this year titled, Will the Real Freaks Please Stand Up? I do want to say, one of the things about think tanks in Washington, there are many of them and they have many different models, and one of the models that I'm very familiar with is the sort of university without students, where we sort of, like Judge Bork used to compare AEI to the monasteries of Ireland, where the church retreated to keep the flame of civilization alive until the ignorant masses were ready to receive the good word again. And CEI has never quite been like that. CEI is more, if you're going to compare it to a religious institution, it's much more like the Shaolin Temple, right, from the Kung Fu movies, where they go forth as sort of warrior priests to conquer, and they've had a really good week and a really good year, and I want to congratulate them again for all of that. And so speaking of warrior priests, metaphorically, I want to now invite on stage a longtime CEI friend, supporter, and once upon a time an employee, the fighting Shaolin monk Ike Calvin Sugg, to introduce this year's Julian Simon awardee. While Ike was at CEI, he helped build the property rights defense legacy at CEI, and then he went off to live it in his actual life back in Texas, and we're delighted to have him here tonight.